Hey, NVDA stock price action. So on Friday, stock closed at 119 and earnings out of the way. August is officially over. So here's what happened, right? We all know that everybody going into the earnings was so hyped up, but it didn't live up to the expectations. Going into earnings, this stock was implying almost 14-15% move for a $3 trillion plus stock. 15% is $450 billion move. That's what market was pricing in. That's what option market was pricing in, and that's what a lot of people were betting on, which is insanity. That's why, I tried to point out especially option activity, because a lot of people were overpaying for options, and very most popular strike price 130, which was the resistance, which was call wall, if you want to call it that way. Look what happened to the chart of that $130 price. Strike price. It was trading well above $3, $4, $5, $6 throughout the week leading into the earnings report, and throughout that week pre-announcement at around $5, $6 levels per contract. And then instantly after they reported earnings, next day, Nvidia didn't move too much. It didn't open with too big of a gap down. It did open, just to be precise, right? Couple percent down, 3.5, and then first 10 minutes, it almost tried to recover all of it. But the premiums, that's what is called IV crush. And I pointed out in all of my 3-4 videos leading up to earnings that, hey, IV is going up and up and up, even though there are less and less days. So that's how market makers, that's how institutional traders, that's how they take advantage of the retail hype, where people mainly, they are net buyers, and they buy and they get caught and premium is burned. If you had any contracts, doesn't matter whether you had puts or calls. Look at this. This is the notional value, right? Maximum pain was 120, and look at the strike prices. Hundreds of thousands of contracts expired worthless. Almost 99%. I'm like 500% sure that 99% of people who tried to trade options, if you were net buyer, whether you were bullish, if you were making bullish bets or bearish bets, you lost money. Unless you sold them. Let's say you did a credit spread, okay? You did other spreads where you wanted to take advantage of the implied volatility. Yes, you may have walked away with the money, most likely. But anybody who is trying to bet to the upside, you look at these contracts, like they lost basically 100% of their value. And people who were trying to bet to the downside, they didn't make much money. Or they didn't make money at all. So going into September expiration, which is 20th of September, we have Nvidia's maximum pain at the moment, $101 level. Look at this September 20th, okay? Look at this chart. What does it tell you? This chart. This is of course not the value of the contracts, but notional value of those contracts, because we know one contract represents 100 shares. Look at it. This is insanity. 650 billion, 500 billion, 400 billion. Anytime market is one-sided, when everybody's screaming that they're bullish, you either want to stay on the sideline or you want to bet against those people. Look at it. So people are not shorting this thing, but look at the long exposure on these contracts, and I'm pretty sure these contracts as well, before the earnings report, most of these contracts were sold, and these contracts are going to expire worthless. But let's take a look at the volume of that strike. So you can see we have pretty much identical total maybe interest outside of the money call, outside of the money put, but in the money calls there's significantly more in the money calls, which is telling me that there may be a lot of people trying to sell a call. Again, this is purely just surface level information. I never trade based on purely on this, but at least I'm able to avoid a trade based on what's going on with the option activity in the markets whenever big giant earnings reports are coming out, like whether it's Tesla or like especially large cap and highly anticipated stocks like this. So in terms of price, before this video I was talking about Tesla. I was comparing it with Tesla, possibly speculating that we could be somewhere right here in Tesla's charts terms. You guys remember all-time highs, $414 print, and then at the highs stock was very volatile actually, and I was saying that we could be somewhere right here maybe in terms of the pattern of the Nvidia's future chart. But again, this is purely my speculation. I can be 500% wrong, and this is totally fine, but just based on its capitalization and based on how it's trading, I have a feeling that it can look similar. It doesn't have to be one-to-one like this, but so far, if you take a look at the Nvidia, and if you can just do it on your own chart, you can overlay it. So this is what it is looking like. So we have a high 140. We have similar basically retracement with Tesla, where we had I think around 30% decline or so, and then recovered almost all of it, most of it, and then shop around, and then it's basically sold off and hasn't seen that high again. But in Nvidia's case, we pulled back 35%, and then we rallied back to this 130. So in my opinion, well, at least right here, right now, ultra short term, if we bring up the moving averages, 5-day, 20-day that I usually watch, stock is below 5-day, I'm not bullish. Stock below its 50-day, I don't consider it bullish. And 20-day, that's what it's holding up. So this blue line on my chart represents 20-day simple moving average. As long as it stays here, it can definitely chop, but as soon as it slips below, I will be looking this name to the downside. And downside support levels, I mean, this level right here where we are hovering around like 115, 116 maybe, that's your support. 110, and then 105, 100, 95. These every basically $5 I will be watching for some sort of support area, and I'm not going to be expecting this name to flush down. This is a very large cap stock, so after reporting earnings, so they have dividend coming out, which is a penny. They have billions of shares outstanding, 12th of September. So I will be watching Nvidia slightly to the downside unless it does get right back up to the 130 and breaks 130. I will not be watching this name to the upside. Also, I have this downtrending line right here where I was watching this as a possible resistance area, but we never, it was never clean breakout and test and then attempt to rally further. Purely because of option activity. Again, if you don't trade options, option market plays very, very big role in the price action of large cap stocks, and this 130 acted as a wall in terms of people selling these calls. So, and never got back above it. So this is very strong resistance. I would be watching for the month of August. I mean, for the months of September. August is officially done. Unless it gets back above this level, I will not be watching Nvidia short term to the upside. But again, to the downside, do I think that this is going to flush down? It may not at all. If you take a look at the SPX, S&P 500, we closed near highs actually. S&P 500 actually trying to hint that it wants to like break out. But this time around, Nvidia may not be the stock that will be helping S&P 500. We have Apple event coming up, right? They're about to announce their new iPhone 16. So maybe we will see a little bit of a drift on Apple, Tesla. And the other day when Nvidia was down after earnings, almost like 500 stocks in S&P 500 were higher, and they pushed the S&P 500 higher. So maybe people will, anybody who sold those contracts, right? Institutions, all those contracts, I mean, the premiums they collected from Nvidia earnings, they're going to come in and put that into work in some other large caps that they think that is undervalued, ultra short term, maybe. I will be watching all these names: Tesla, Meta, Google, Amazon. All of these names, they're not overextended. Meta, not overextended. Google, not overextended. Maybe it might pop, definitely. Apple, no, it's not overextended at all. It's resting here, maybe 50-day moving average test, but that's just purely my speculation. And I will be watching basically into that September expiration. I would be expecting Nvidia to stay between this 120 and $100 level range, and basically again burn a lot of premium going into that September expiration, which is pretty big option expiration, quarterly option expiration. So, and also we have Fed rate decision into that date, so there's going to be premium baked again. So if you are somebody who's trading this name, maybe it is a lot cheaper right now. You can see how implied volatility came significantly down, almost like cut in half for longer dated ones. So, but still, you got to be careful if you are trading this name going into that option expiration, or you got to be super nimble when it comes to in and out trades. Again, these videos are not financial advice. This is purely for entertainment, education purposes only. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.